What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ange, one half the duo, and today I have a super fan favorite deck for you all, Madolche. This is my updated list after the September 2020 ban list, and this deck is still explosive, still makes those combos, and breaks boards like no other deck. But before we get into the video, I would like to remind you guys all to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notification bells because we have new videos coming every Monday and Wednesday. Well, let's finally get started with this deck profile. To start off, you have to play the triple Madolche. There's no getting around this. You have to play 3 of this card. It searches out any Madolche card or monster when it is normal summoned. Gotta play 3 of it because it is crazy. And then we play the triple Angeli. This is the Lone Fire Blossom of the deck. Gets out any Madolche from your deck when it tributes itself for cost. Really busted. You gotta play 3 of it. No more, no less. And then we also play the triple Petting Sessor. This card is basically an extender and also an extreme combo starter. It gets at any Madolche from your deck, special summons it, and level reduced by 1. You have to play 3 of this card because it is insane. And then we also play the double Who Cake. Now, some people do play this card at 3. I don't like it at 3. I think it's too bricky still, but I think 2 is just fine because you always want to see them in deck, so that way you can get them out with your Petting Sessor, your Angeli, or you can get them out through other means. So 2 is perfectly fine, and plus its effect is also very, very good. And then we have the 2 Mr. Gelato. Gotta play 2 of this card. Its effect is 9 once per turn, so you could just keep special summoning him and then keep getting his effect off. You could probably resolve this guy maybe like 3 to 4 times per turn if you have the right cards in hand and the right combination. So 2 is just fine. You never really want to see this card in your hand, so playing 2 of it is just fine for me. If you do play 3 of it, let me know why you play 3 of it, or if you play 1 of it, let me know why. I would love to hear your guys' different deck combinations in the comment section. And then we play the 1 Petting Sess. Now you got to play the 1 Petting Sess because it gets it out with the Petting Sessor, so this card just enables more combos, and so you got to play 1 of it. That does it for the Madolche monsters. Let's round it out with the non-Madolche monsters. We run the 1 Pankratops. Now this card is very, very strong. It breaks boards on its own. It forces out a lot of negations and lines of play that your opponent would rather not see and deal with. It just applies a lot of pressure, so you gotta play the 1 of it. And then we also play some hand traps. We play the triple Gamma and then the 1 Driver. Now I have some mixed feelings about this actually. I don't like playing the Cyframe package, but in a deck like this where you do need as much high impact cards as you can, you're kind of forced to play this card. Even though if you do draw the Driver, it kind of sucks, but you know, you gotta take some good with the bad. If you do resolve the Gamma, then normally you will win the next turn that you go, because this deck can just play through so many interactions and play around so many interactions as well. So you have to play this, even though it's kind of a brick sometimes. You have to play it. That does it for the monsters. On to the spells and traps. We have 2 Madolche Chateau. Now I still see a lot of people just play 1 of this card. I'm not a fan of it. I think 2 is perfectly fine because you could resolve it during the late game, and if it does get resolved, then you normally could win because all your resources will just go straight back into the deck, and then you can continue with all of your plays, and your opponent just can't keep up with that because normally once all their fuel is exhausted, they have no way to continue that grind game. So you have to play 2 of this card, especially say if your Chateau does get Cosmic Cyclone or does get Lightning Stormed. Having the second one in your hand or deck really does make that difference. So yeah, I play 2 of it. And then for the 1 of, I do play the 1 ticket. This card doesn't need to be a 2 of at all. It's perfectly fine as the 1 of, because you know, once you do resolve it, you're probably going to win anyways. Also, you don't really need to see it at all because it is searchable through Gelato. So one of it is fine. And then we have the triple Salon. This card is insane. I love this card. You know, back in the day, we did used to play that Brilliant Fusion package, but hey, look at now. We have an in-archetype double summon, so we're good. So yeah, you gotta play this one. Also, its secondary effect to set any Madolche spell or trap is also very, very relevant because we could set our ticket, we could set our field spell, we could set our Madolche trap. It's just extremely good. So you gotta play 3 of it. It's a double summon. You have to play it. Now for our non-Madolche spells, I've been running triple Pot of Extravagance. It's actually been working very well. Normally I would like to run Phantasme because normally in theory you want to fix your hands, not add to the problem, but recently I've really been liking Extravagance. You know, that draw 2 is super good, and you know, with our extra deck we can afford to, you know, get rid of 6 cards at ease. So I think Pot of Extravagance is very good. It draws into your power cards. It draws into, you know, say like your starters, your extenders, or, you know, or anything else you may need for that particular situation. So triple of that. We also play triple Dark Ruler No More. Now, this card is very good right now, especially with a lot of like those combo heavy decks. So just to say no to all of those boards is very good because Madolche could just like shuffle them all back in deck, get rid of it, break the whole board, and then what cards do they have left to play with? Normally like maybe 2 cards in hand, and then that's it normally, and then you could easily just, you know, negate things with either, you know, your Promenades or your Glass Souffle that you'll have on the field anyway. So I think that this card is very good. I don't want to play Droplet because I don't want to get rid of anything. I know Droplet is a quick play, and it's also very strong because your opponent cannot respond with the card tight. But you want to keep as much resources in your hand as possible and or on the field. Then we're gonna play 2 Tactics Talents, and then we have the 1 Call by the Grave. I'm testing this out. The reason why I'm playing 2 Tactics and not 3 is because I just want to see how well it works out. Rather than just playing 3 Tactics and then the Called By, or 2 Tactics and the Called By. Right now it's been working very well. Every time I do resolve Tactics, I do win that game, to be honest with you. You know, I was playing Orcust one day, I shuffled back that Scrap Recycler, and I just clearly won the game. Or, you know, still having the Called By is still super strong because, you know, if they do Ash Blossom or Effect Veiler, your normal summon, you could just Call By it, and then you just basically win the game from there on. So I like this ratio right now. If you guys are playing talents in your builds, let me know what ratio you guys are playing, or if you guys are playing talents at all. I think the card is very strong in this format. And then we play the 1 of just the 1 Feather Duster. This card is very strong right now. You know, just destroying that back row if you're going second deck is very crucial, especially if you're playing against a Lich. Then you force all of the traps to go off, and they can't really do anything to you because you have nothing on the field or in your graveyard to really, you know, get out. And what are they going to do? If they summon a Golden Boy, you can shuffle them back anyways. It's not really a big deal. So that is very strong. Now, for the traps, we run the 2 Promenade. This card is extremely busted. It just negates any face-up card your opponent controls. So, literally, it's kind of like a mini Solemn Judgment for the deck. So you have to play this one. Also, it gains your resources back to your hand, and then all your Madolche spells and traps do proc because of that. So we have to play 2 of it. It's searchable through Gelato, and it's a nice form of negation for going first, which Madolche used to never have that option. And then to round out the traps, we run the triple Infinite Impermanence. Now, this is another high impact hand trap, I would say. Though it could be argued for as low impact, but I still think it's really good because it cannot be triple Tactic Talents at all. So you have to play 3 of it. It's nice negation, and also really helps break those boards when you are going second. So that does it for the main deck. It's nice even 40 cards, I believe, and I would really not change anything about it right now. It's really strong. It does what the deck does what it needs to do, and it does it well. So with that extra deck, we run the triple Tiramisu. Now, wow, this is still my favorite card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh, hands down. Just non-targeting, removal, shuffling back into the deck. It's the best the game's ever seen, probably, in terms of like spot removal. It's absolutely busted. I gotta play 3 of it, especially since we do play Extravagance. 3 is the correct number for me, so it's beautiful. And then we run the triple Glass Souffle. Now, normally I would run 2 sometimes, but I think since we do run Extravagance, you have to run the 3, and also the disruption effect does come up a lot, actually. Now, you would think that shuffling things back from the graveyard into the deck really wouldn't be that high impact, but a lot of times it is, because, you know, you could shuffle back those equipped spells with Infernoble Knights, you could shuffle back those traps with Eldritch so they don't get their end phase effects, and then you could just shuffle back a lot of other different monsters from other decks, just to disrupt their resource game, and also kind of, you know, have the mistiming in a sense. So this card is beyond great, and also its other effect to target one Madolche monster, and it's unaffected by other monster effects other than its own. It comes up a lot, actually. And then we run the triple Choco a la mode. Now this card is beautifully awesome because it just gets the deck rolling. If it has the Putting Cess as material, then you can just keep on special summoning from deck. It's non-once per turn, so you can just keep abusing that effect of special summon from deck, get more effects off, and do what Madolche wants to do, which is spam the board and just create a board that your opponent just cannot deal with because it is so overwhelming. And then that's it for the XEs, and then we have the links. We run the Fresh to Start. Now, I still really like playing this card a lot because, you know, it just makes your Madolche spells and traps, you know, unaffected by, you know, your opponent's monster effects or card effects, and it's really strong. Once you do resolve it, it applies a lot of pressure to the opponent because that's how Madolche gains a lot of its advantage through its spell and traps. So the opponent is forced to out this, and you probably already have like 3 or 4 Madolches in grave to protect itself. So they have to waste, you know, 4 different resources to get over 1 card. It's extremely busted for the deck, and I love it. And then for the generic just links, we run the IP Masquerena, the Nightmare Unicorn, and then the 1 access code talker. These are just generic links, basically. The IP Masquerena can abuse very well, and if you aren't locked into Madolches, you have these options to go into, which they come up very rarely, but if they do ever come up, then they're very high impact, and you probably could win the game from there as well. So I just play, you know, just 3 of like some good links. You could run any other links too, it doesn't necessarily matter, you know, it's all on your own preference. Well, that does it for the main deck and extra deck. Let's go into the side deck. So, it's pretty generic, but I run triple Nibiru. I think this card is really great, especially against combo right now. Though people can argue that people can make, you know, an easy like Herald negate or a Gear Free negate or any other sort of easy monster negate going first. Fairly simple, but you know, you still gotta play it because if the opponent, you know, isn't ready for the Nibiru, then you probably can win that game fairly easily. And then I also run the Sphere mode because Madolche, though it does need its normal summon, a lot of times if you just have the Sessor in hand, you could just literally Wing Dragon or Raw Sphere mode the opponent's board, and then you just special the Sessor, and then you just combo off from there, and then you could win that game fairly easily. So I've been playing this card. I've actually been liking it a lot, so I run it. You don't have to, but it's just like a little thing that I run. Then I also run triple Evenly Matched. This card is still super high impact, just banishing things face down. It's always good, and you know, a lot of decks right now are just making like a lot of unbreakable boards, so it just kind of like baits the negate as well. As well as like when this card resolves, it just decimates boards. So you gotta play 3 of it. Super high impact and what the deck needs right now. And then also I run triple Cosmic Cyclone for that Eldritch matchup and those other back row decks. So this card always comes up as well. Back in the day, I would normally run Twin Twisters, but I don't like discarding at all. So this is the way I get around it. You just pay 1,000 life points, banish it, and then you are fine, ready to go. And then for the final cards I have in my side deck, Triple Lightning Storm. You gotta play this card. It is absolutely busted because guess what? You win games if you resolve this card. You destroy all their attack position monsters, which normally they leave them in attack, or you destroy all the back row, and then you just go off from there. This card wins games, hands down, 100%. Well, that does it for the main deck, extra deck, and side deck. I would like to thank you guys all for clicking this video, checking out the video. It means a lot to the channel that you guys do that. If you guys are running anything different in Madolche, please put it down in the comment section below. I would love to know what you guys are playing this format. And without further ado, thanks guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.